6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Did not need to run there. Yeah, right. All right, good evening. Monday, August 10th, 6 p.m. in Susan Tully Lively Boardroom at the 1887 building. I'd like to start the evening off with a pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay. Tab, you get a roll call.
Mr. Andre.
Here.
Eric Jordan is present. Mrs. Ingersoll.
Here.
Mrs. Costa.
Here.
Mrs. Rectors.
Here.
Mr. Scarrow.
Here.
Mrs. Vaughn.
Okay, do quorum, good to go. Meeting has been noticed. Did not receive any community participation cards, so there's none. Let's kick it off with the Chinese visit presentation.
All right.
We're up here. Well, we made it back. Yeah. It took a little bit getting there. And we had like a day and a half delay. So we just stayed in Chicago and we waited for the flight because the parents took half a day of vacation to get us down there. And I didn't think they wanted to do that again the next day. So we just stayed there. And the Cafe Airlines was great. They put us up in a hotel and they paid for me. That was awesome. So it was free. So we just stayed down there. You want me to put Mr. Cup?
Oh.
So we arrived on the 4th of June, and Susan from Weifang, the American International Academy, met us there as promised right off the plane. So that was a relief, and we were on our way. So our itinerary arrived in Beijing, on June 4th. We toured the Beijing Zoo, we visited the Summer Palace, we went to dinner. Then the next day we hiked the Great Wall, visited the Forbidden City, the Palace Museum, and went shopping. And then June 6th, visited the Temple of Heaven. We took the bullet train to Weifang. We met the host families. June 7th, spent time with the host families all day long. Items like hiking up a mountain, Miss Faye. Yep.
That's a surprise.
Visiting the Kite Museum, attending tea ceremony, attending performances, etc. So the host families were giving suggestions, and then it was kind of a surprise what we did. And then on Monday, June 8th, attended American International Academy ceremony, traveled to Qingdao to the ocean, swam in the ocean, and visited historic sites. Then Tuesday, we toured a public middle school in Weifang, a private kindergarten, and then Weifang Public Museum. We are now their promotional commercial in Weifang, so that's kind of funny. And we went to the World War II internment camp that they had in China. And then June 10th, took the bullet train to Bangor, participated in an educational symposium there, surprise educational symposium. Went on a river walk, played the drums with this drumming group on the boardwalk, and ate at a welcome dinner. June 11th, toured private high school, a private kindergarten, a Montessori kindergarten. Shopped at an open air jade market. They brought the slabs of jade in on trucks. That was pretty cool. Bamboo Public Museum, we're also their commercial, and had a final dinner and celebration there. June 12th, toured the countryside, including rural homes, ate in a countryside restaurant, took the bullet train to Hangzhou, and then we, in Hangzhou, the Temple Gardens, the tower, went to the silk markets, and then arrived back home because we gained that day back. So yeah.
A little full itinerary.
Oh yeah, we were.
You're probably the first group that they've taken to the rural areas. Usually they haven't shown you behind that curtain.
Yeah,
so
it was interesting. So this is my last slide, and like kids and other adults are gonna do it. So hopefully this will play.
You want to play this one first?
Yeah, we'll play it. This is at a working middle school. There's 7 to 8 years or 8 of them who are highly gifted, and the kids are like, oh, we like to fly drones. I'm like, oh no, they created these drones themselves. And then they went through this, so of course, they compete all across China. So they were so this. Wow. Yeah, under. Then kids in all individuals so excited here. Yeah, and this is. They don't see a lot of Americans over there. And then this is a kindergarten, we got right in there with them. That's Bryce going on the slide. Yeah.
How many in the public middle school, how many kids in a classroom did you guys see?
You guys know. I mean, you
I need to
see.
keep them.
Yeah. 40, 50.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I saw, it said we were about 50 kids in a room. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the public school, really different from the private.
When we left that night,
Mhm.
what was going on as we left that night? The school, can you look up what was going on? They were still in school. Yeah, and I asked, how long do they stay at 9:30 p.m. studying? Wow. They get up. Yeah, it's pretty unreal.
They have dormitories there at the school as well, where they take their afternoon nap and stay or.
Yep, it is.
Well, and at the time too, when we were there, the high schoolers were getting ready for their college exams, so they were really cramming. So that also added to some of the late night.
And their college exam was, I believe, 3 days, so it was like 3 full days of exams, like our ACT book. For their college entrance.
No retakes, no redos.
Yeah.
And that just adds your future.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first day we arrived with our host family, they took us to go see this Chinese acrobatic show. Our host mother kindly snuffed pictures of these. This is all thanks to her.
We just threw under the bus now.
Don't say that. Yeah, so you're not. If they do catch you taking
So you
pictures.
took the pictures.
Yeah, I took. Anything.
Yeah.
So it was basically about like people having harmony with animals and like the jungle. So it was like basically about like some elephants like trying to figure out what this noise was, which was like construction happening in the jungle. They're trying to build some more buildings. And they were just trying to keep the harmony with the other animals and the people and whatnot. It was really cool. You got to see a bunch of like different things. I've never seen like acrobatics so high level. And then this, we got to go try and practice Chinese tea making, which is similar to Japanese traditional tea, but it's a little bit what she said, our host mother said, less like formal. So we got to in the I forgot what it was called, but it was like you would crush some leaves right there. Yeah, you would crush some leaves and then you would turn them to dust, and then it was super complicated. That was actually the easiest part about it. The hardest part was definitely whisking everything together. You couldn't go too fast nor too slow, and you couldn't put too much pressure to it. It had to be just right, or else you wouldn't get the right consistency.
What happens when you're over there visiting and they're serving tea and you drink your teacup all the way down?
They keep serving it.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
keep serving it. Okay. So I learned that if you're done drinking the tea, just stop at half a cup.
Mhm.
And then they won't fill it.
Oh, interesting.
But you have to drink it because then they will think that you don't like it.
Yeah.
So
So they just keep filling it.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yoshi, can you talk about the host family experience that you guys had with the little girl at Pinner?
She was so cute. Our host sister, she was the cutest thing in the whole world. She absolutely adored us. And we adored her. so my brother, we went to the Great Wall of China and he bought a panda hat. And then we arrived to the host families, and then she got to see his panda hat, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute! I bought one." So the following, I think it was the following day or something like that, we went somewhere else, and then he bought another panda hat. Oh my gosh! And she saw it, and this one was a bit more like girly, so it was a bit more suited for her. And so he gave that to her, and oh my gosh, she wore it to school all day and would not take it off. And like even still, when she like sends us videos and stuff of her, she wears it all. It's so cute.
Is this fine?
Yeah, you go ahead, guys.
So we went to the Great Wall of China. It was cool. On speaking. And that's Mr. Mysteries. And then that's us at the Summer Palace, the far one. I took that picture. And the Summer Palace, it was a little long, the walking part was, but it was cool.
Did you guys climb the stairs up to the Great Wall or ride the gondola?
The gondola.
Oh.
We did you ride down on the little cars that they have, or no?
Back in the gondola.
It was pretty hot that day as well as it was the second day we
It was
could.
a wise choice.
It was the first morning after our long flight of.
Yeah.
And then the food. The food was amazing. And those green beans are like the best food I've ever eaten in my life. It's supposed to be ours. Like there were some other families, but they sat on our tables. And we just were handling one to go give them back, but then they just ended up on our table. So I'm sitting like right there, and the green beans are right there. So it's like I'm eating them. And then the dumplings were really good. And my host family made me eat like 28 dumplings for dinner. She just kept giving me them. And yeah.
Kyle's host mom was a hover host mom, and she would like, people would try to take a picture of him. She's like, no more pictures of him. Like it was hilarious. She'd get up, she wouldn't even sit down. She was always like serving him and putting food on his plate. And yes, she really liked that.
You want to talk about the serving style? Because it's pretty different from how
So,
we
like,
hear.
The serving, so like it just for what they did for us was Susan, the like guide, just ordered us a bunch of food and they put it on like this like table with a spinning like
Lazy Susan. Lazy Susan. they call it.
yeah. And then you just grabbed your food off and you ate it.
It's always family style.
Yeah.
What we would call
Yeah.
family style, yeah. And so when they come and visit here and you take them to a restaurant, they still go to order family style. Like we take them to Pure 290 once and let's order 4 hamburgers, and then cut the hamburgers up and split them out. They wouldn't just like order one plate of meal for themselves. Yeah, so they'd share family style all of it, yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
so we were visiting the school. We played ping pong and basketball with them. Yeah, apparently people like me over there.
Whatever else,
But
do big guys like you too, or?
playing basketball, they did. I'm pretty good over there.
All right. Yeah.
How many autographs do you sign?
A lot.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny.
And this is like their classes. They were very tight. And, like their school was honestly kind of dirty too, and like their projectors were not the best. And then that's like basketball. Like they were at gym practice, so and then we played like basketball and stuff with them. So
Yeah, basketball, universal game. Yeah. I gained a new appreciation for how popular basketball is over there, because that was
Oh, yeah.
the private kindergarten that we went to visit, and they had a whole choreographed routine for their physical education class. And then the picture that was there was when they had asked us to like practice passing and dribbling with them.
Okay.
Amazing skills.
Yeah, that is And then we had also, one of our first stops, like after we had arrived from the airport, was to go to the Beijing Zoo, so we could see giant pandas. So that was the highlight of that trip. We saw some other animals that we don't typically have in the EASD, but the panda was the big attraction. And then this, on our last city that we went to was Hangzhou, and we went to the Lingyan Temple, which is an active Buddhist monastery. And we didn't take pictures in the temple, but before you go in there, there's over 300 stone Buddhist statues that are in this hillside. It's really pretty. We did not see all of the statues, but it was just some of the group. There's also Dylan. He's the student in front from AIA. He was joining us for the second half of our trip, so it's really beautiful.
Most of the statues are right around 900 years old, which is cool.
The monastery has been in existence for like
Yeah,
1600
it's
years.
been more than that. Statues. Well. So we also went to the Summer Palace. This is Beijing. That was our first like full night there. We went and toured. We were able to see it right along this. You can't see it, but the walkway, I can't think of the name of what it's called, is one of the longest in the world, which is really cool. It's like the longest, like single flowing type of building of that style, which I want to talk and share facts with the students. That was my favorite part of the trip, to be honest. But that's our picture right there. It was a beautiful night, as you can see. We learned a lot about the history there. There's like moats and stuff. There's another picture from there. But that's our group.
Are these jade statues?
I believe so.
Wow.
They should. There's some sort of.
Yeah.
But there's our group there. There's the panda hat.
Summer Palace is located near Beijing.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's not directly. Beijing is such a large city.
It's not the one next to Tiananmen Square.
No, it's
The Forbidden City.
That's the
This
Forbidden-
is
yeah.
like the Emperor's Summer Palace,
Yeah.
which was outside.
it was
Water.
built for I forget which
Which emperor?
I used to know history. It's gone. I'm sorry.
We're
When we were there, I knew the history. That's important. But again, there's more pictures there. That was the end of it. But it was a great time. This picture again, we saw so many pictures. I would say I think it was awesome. Our students learned so much about cultures. As a world cultures teacher, I know just teaching in the classroom is different than actually experiencing it. Being able to share facts with students, being able to go and show them was a really cool part. And I know that everyone learned a lot. We did. You guys learned stuff?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, yeah, sure. I heard that we have a new sister school that we went to on our way over. So
Yeah,
he does sign us up.
do you want me to have a voice?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, and, everything was kind of a surprise. So when we got off this training in Goa, they had a whole delegation from the school. It's a private school. As Kyle said, it's kind of in disrepair and they're in need of money. So they hired a videographer and a photographer to follow us around all over, literally all the time. We were on camera all the time. And we had an educational symposium that was a surprise, and we did that. And we were at all these big dinners with all these fancy people from Bangor. These cities are the size of New York City, so they're huge.
I'll add that it is a more rural city, so it's not a tourist destination. They don't see a lot of Americans. So I think that was one of the reasons why they were like, "Hey, Americans are here. Let's put a spotlight on this."
So so the kids were, that's where, they were inundated with folks. 80, 100 students are on each of our students, just trying to shake their hand, get their autograph, take a picture with them. Yeah, especially Kyle for some reason. Kyle too, but we were particularly enamored with Kyle, and he would, 80 people tried to eat lunch with him. The only way he could escape The girl situation was to literally go on the basketball court or play a sport to do that. So that was interesting. But the last night there, they had a special celebration for us. We were thinking it was just,
Well, it was the end of the school year, so that was how it was introduced to us. It was end of the school year
School year.
celebration.
so we thought it was like kind of their graduation. They had 12 different performances they were gonna have. So we get out into this courtyard and there's like probably thousands.
It was the entire school.
Yeah, it was like 1,000 people with parents and everything, and we were like, whoa, and they all had purple and gold lights that they were waving like this for us. And we were like, whoa. And then they told me 10 minutes before that I would have to give a speech at this celebration. So thank goodness I was the forensics coach, and I'm like, Fate, you have a pen? And I just, here's that, I'm like, look up our school's mission statement again, put that in there, did this whole thing. So they call your name, and they had all of us in the front row in front of all these people. And then like we came out and they're screaming like we're rock stars. It was unreal. Unreal. They gave us scrolls. They said we were a sister school. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of power. I am. I said it to the translator. I said, this is really not. And she goes, it's okay. They're never coming to the US. They need this for promotional purposes. Like, okay. That I'm okay with that. So it was a whole thing. They presented us with ceremonial scrolls from this calligraphy artist. They put us out there. We all got gifts. They had like huge placards that we were holding. I mean, it was
Very nice.
It was very.
it was wild. Yeah.
It was a really good cultural experience too. We learned a lot. They had dances. It was like a cultural celebration as well. So a ton of different styles of dances we saw there, and then
Military
military
dancers.
dances.
It was
some entire.
interesting. Yeah.
How many students went with you guys again?
We only had 6 students that went with us.
Okay,
6
that's what I
students,
thought.
because we did it in 7 weeks. So it was
Right.
quick.
It was
Right.
Sure, yeah.
Right, so you two and then 4 other students? Okay. And were you the only boy?
No.
No.
There were 2 other ones.
Okay,
And
3 other boys.
yeah, 3.
So 4 boys
so
altogether.
4 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah.
But you were the one that they were like,
Yeah, did the other boys get
Rock
the
star.
same rock star treatment? Wow. Crazy. I will say they were like, the students were excited to see all of us, but they
Sure.
were more excited to see.
right? It is so interesting.
They're incredible hosts whenever we have groups there. It's been several years, so so you would recommend it for future groups, and
Highly
you
recommend.
always felt safe while you were over there, and
Oh my gosh. They were so protective of us. It was unreal. Like you hear about the security over there, but until you're living it, when I asked Kyle, I said, what was the one thing that was the most surprising to you? He said, security. I mean, you're always going through a metal detector. Your bags are always being searched. Everything is,
Yeah.
you're constantly on camera. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were, I never felt unsafe. And I felt like even the public members, even around walking the streets, were very protective of us. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
Did he have his own private security?
Mother, no more pictures. No more.
there was a American teacher that the school my dad knows from the University Connection Partners, so that's how we got the partnership there. But there was an American teacher on exchange over there who had her cell phone taken and stolen, and she reported to law enforcement. Oh, I'm never going to see that again. They had a back tour that night at 7:30, and the rest of the person who took the phone. It was just they take it very seriously.
Even in the rural areas where tons of cameras on the light posts and
Oh, yeah.
there's no.
Yep.
But they invite you right to their homes. The rural farmers invite us right into their homes.
I
That's
was
great.
very thankful for the hospitality we received.
So you got to see kind of the real extreme poverty and the living condition as well.
Yes, yeah, and they were just thrilled just to shake our hands. They
Yeah.
were just excited because a lot of them hadn't seen Americans before.
It probably will be the only time
Yeah.
if they ever see him here.
Phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
No,
Thanks for the great report.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks to the chaperones and leaders for coming
Yeah.
over and representing us.
Thank you.
That was a fun presentation. If he starts wearing sunglasses inside, I just want to take his sports cards from him. Did you tell him you were a K-pop star?
First thing he did was like he deleted his week chatting. It's like I'm gone. Don't do that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
That's
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck following that up.
I know. I'll come back. Hi everyone, I'm Katie James. I'm the community grant writer for Elkhorn Area School District, the Chamber of Commerce, and the City of Elkhorn. My job, as you know, or you may not know, just to do a quick recap, I'm funded by Fund 80 to provide grant writing resources to the entire Elkhorn Area School District community. Next slide, please.
Oops,
Oh,
sorry,
too
that
hard.
was like a.
You already gave my landing. Oh, man.
No, okay, here, that's okay.
All right, I can figure out how to go.
There you go. What I wanted to share, when we had this conversation this time last year, I was a little low.
Yeah.
Things had really slowed down. There was some uncertainty about how the dollars would flow into communities. So there was a big pause that was placed last year while the federal government figured it out, which then paused the state. So I spent that time focusing on other projects more locally until the tap was turned back on. At about, I would say, April, May, June time, it not only turned on, it started gushing. And that's the world in which I'm living now. This is an actual photograph, it's not a graphic. That many arms. I'm still part of a community grant writing group. There was a group of 6 of us around the state of Wisconsin that decided to commiserate together last year. Well, now we use it to help vet projects together and see who can do what. Because we're in different regions, it's easier for us to have these types of conversations because we're not competing against each other for awards. Or if we are, we respectfully say, I can't really talk about that, but I wish you luck in your project, that sort of thing. The other thing that I still do also is meet with community businesses and nonprofits to give them, I don't write grants for them because I just quite frankly don't have time, but I have certainly edited projects and edited grant applications for them, side by side and polished them for them too. And then sent anything that looks like it could be a good opportunity for a for-profit business in our community to the chamber, and then they forward it on to their partners as well. All right. So this slide I've done every year since I started 4 years ago. And it's been such a journey. My first year, I submitted 29 grants, applied. The following year, I did 34 grants. Last year, it really slowed down in the teens. This year, I can report I submitted eight applications, which doesn't sound like much at all. Even I can see that these 8 have been written in the last 5 months. And what they are, my total grants that I wrote last year was about $1.7 million. That's a lot of money. Just in the last 5 months alone, I've asked for $6.6 million. So if you have a sense of scale of the size of these applications, these are 100-page plus term papers basically that I'm writing. So one of the grants that I just submitted 3 weeks ago was 173 pages and took me 4 months to do.
173 pages.
It's fun, let me tell you. It's documentation. I haven't lost any yet because most of them are to be determined. And I've won 2, which I can't tell you about yet because they haven't been announced. Next slide, please. So my overall record, just so you can see, I like to keep score. We have submitted 76 total for those 3 entities. I've lost 29. I don't want to talk about it. 1 was canceled, 6 I'm still waiting on. I've been awarded 40 for a total of $11.8 million in the last 4 years. So I clocked a little over $2.1 million this year, which is about average for how I've been doing. Pretty good. But if you want to click the next slide.
That's over a 50% success rate.
I was just gonna say.
53
That's
here.
very good.
For a federal, it's between 10 and 13%.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you guys gotta understand that her percentage is significantly higher than the average.
I like to win.
How much per page is that?
How many hours of sleep lost is what
Yeah,
it
that's
should be.
better calculation.
The overall performance, this is what we had kind of discussed before. If I can find another way to get the funding outside of grants, are you comfortable with that? You said yes, go after it. So in grants and local donations, I capped $12 million this year, so I was very happy to hit that.
Amazing.
Milestone.
And how many years old is it? 4 now?
4.
Yeah.
Next month will be 4 years.
That's a good ROI.
No kidding.
What was I up to this year? So as I mentioned, it was slow, so I focused on the Matheson Memorial Library renovation. We won that in 2024 for $2.2 million. And that was remaining COVID dollars that the state was trying to unload with the agreement that we could spend it and complete our projects in 2 years. So that there were projects around the state where they were demolishing and building new buildings in that period or attempting to. We did a full renovation of the Matheson Memorial Library during that time, hiring an architect, doing the design work, getting a contract, going out to RFPs, and then doing the construction. We flipped the entire building. If you haven't had the opportunity to walk through the Matheson Memorial Library, that's my baby. I'm really proud of that project. It was a complete changeover of what we were doing now. It has a new HVAC system, new boiler systems, lighting, carpet, furniture, drinking fountains. We redesigned all the staff spaces, made ADA and fire safety improvements. We added 2 new conference rooms, 6 new study rooms, 2 new overall classrooms, which the Walworth County Literacy Council is going to be using to hold large-scale classes. We renovated all of the bathrooms. And then that picture in the lower corner is either me at the finish line or running screaming from the because I took over the overall administration. So I've gotten a full grant administration under my belt. Yes, the 5-inch binder that I have of all the guidelines and rules, the reporting that follows it, it is in itself a full-time job. So I was able to balance that with all the other stuff that we had going on. The other big project was the Elkhorn Band Shell. The last time we talked about it, I hadn't found out if I won the Capital Challenge grant from Tom Jeffress of the Jeffress Family Foundation. I think a week after my last presentation, he awarded us $300,000 if the local Elkhorn community would come together to bring the other $600,000 to complete the band shell restoration project. So I've been working with the Historic Preservation Commission and the Elkhorn Recreation Department to come up with programming for our 100th year anniversary. I've seen some of you at the event, so thank you so much for coming.
I have to say, I looked at the lineup this year, I'm like, I did not know that you were the one who was.
I was helping the Recreation Department, and Carl Sorber and his
I'm
team
like,
did a
you guys
phenomenal
did an
job.
amazing job putting together a lineup for this year. Really great.
The big problem is the garage door on the front of the structure.
Yeah.
And because it sometimes is a little quirky, we haven't really trusted its ability to open and close because this is why the renovation project is needed. We challenged Carl this year after a restoration of the garage door for 50 door opens. So it's open 3 days a week at the minimum to show that it should be used in the community.
Yes.
It can be used in the community. Now we just need the capital in order to make it feasible long term.
Yeah.
So that's what that project, I created the website, the Elkhorn Band Shell Restoration website. I'm meeting with our capital partners in the community, our Elkhorn Angels, as I call them, to see if we can't meet that goal. We're only around the 10% mark. I've got a couple of irons in the fire right now, so I'm hopeful by the end of the year I'll be at 25%. We have 3 years to raise the funds, so stay tuned for that. The other big thing that I worked on this year was the building improvement grant in downtown. Hopefully you all have seen some change in our downtown. This year, I should say, since we last chatted, the city raised or invested another $30,726 into 5 more projects downtown. The property owners themselves invested $70,128 for a total revision of our downtown space of over $500,000 in the last 2 years. These are two of my favorite projects. This is Peter and Kelly Boses at 21 South Wisconsin. We worked through a redesign together, and now it's the counter, it's a restaurant. And then Pizza Alley, this is Doug Cravenger's property. Did a phenomenal job of.
That's the same building?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you haven't been into the counter yet, I highly recommend
It's
it.
a restaurant?
Yes,
Sandwich.
Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch.
Yep.
We say Madras.
Oh.
So you can go and purchase gaming equipment or have it repaired from bars and pubs. Yep. So those are my two big projects that I'm really proud of this year and really excited to see our property owners investing in our downtown.
It's looking so good.
Yeah, it's great.
And I've been with the EEDA for years, and when Katie came on board from that position, just the ability, she goes in and works side by side with those property owners to get the grant application in fulfilled and those dollars maximized and utilized. So, and I appreciate the city setting that money aside in their budget. Budgets are tight, but that was an area that they've invested on each year to improve and upgrade that downtown to keep it as vibrant as possible.
This is a consideration that we've discussed over the years. My very first year, these two numbers were flip-flopped. The Elkhorn Area School District was about 60% of my workload, and the city was about 30% of my workload. Now it is completely flipped. I have to go where the dollars are, as we discussed previously, and the grants that are available to municipalities right now are massive. I do believe that the school district dollars are starting to trickle down, and I am ready because those usually hit in November and then they're going to be due in February. But this was my workload balance this year was 67% city and community interests, and then 31% for the school district.
And anyone watching, it is a community service position, which is available for assistance in anywhere within the district boundaries. So if there was a township or anything like that looking for grants as well, Katie's available to consult and or help.
I just wrote one for the county. Looking ahead, I am fully expecting these grants to drop. There's a mechanism that these agencies are implementing where by using shorter application windows, they can also limit the number of applications they receive and thereby lightening their own workload. I was just talking to Jason, I have $200 million in grant funding that just dropped and became available and is due in 2 weeks. The application is 2 pages, so that's an easy one, but I'm really excited for more of these types of funding opportunities to become available and then be able to jump quickly with the information that I've gathered over the years. Library and band shell, the library is supposed to be completed next month, and then I'm working with the Chamber of Commerce on a grant opportunity for small business owners in the city of Elkhorn. So. There is my 5 seconds of fame that I had in the spring talking about the downtown improvement. My address, contact information, I have 2 email addresses, one for the school district interests and the other for the city and chamber interests. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you continue, I know several of you have sent me grants that you've seen come into your inbox. Please continue to do that. I'm not always aware of everything that's out there as quickly as possible. So you sending me, you don't even have to write a thing, just push it through and I'll vet it to see if it's a good fit for Elkhorn and if we qualify for it, and then we can have a conversation about it. But that's really the easiest way because I know the demographic statistics and things. I don't know what our likelihood of success is on those, and then the opportunity to apply.
One of the areas Katie and I discussed before the meeting, which I think this is an opportune time to discuss that when we look at the amount of dollars and the number of grants and those that are dropping, one of the areas, writing the grant takes, an amount of time and expertise in doing that. There's a lot of work behind the scenes on that administrating of the grant. And so that's an area where I think we're at a point where, if supported, I think we should probably look at a grant administrator to work under Katie's guidance to assist with the administrative portion of that, because it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, I don't think we have the bandwidth to apply for this resources there. And that's kind of a shame if it's on the administrative side. And I know it puts a lot of work, like the Youth Build grant or some of these federal grants and so forth that we administrate, on our side, it creates a lot of work there. And I think some of the departments, when it's like, hey, I've got this mental health grant, which could bring, how much is the mental health grant?
Up to $5 million.
Up to 5 million. The department's like, oh, who's going to be in charge of handling, processing all that paperwork on the back end? So having that individual, and the grants, you can use up to 8% for administrative costs. So in a sense, we could use Fund 80 for that position, but also it could really, it's no-brainer ROIs on these type positions. I think the community's been, I don't know if there's been a position that the community's been more supportive of when I hear that and see the work that's done.
Do you have like a job description that
Yeah.
generate so that we could,
I'd love to see a job description for that.
we could start?
We could talk about
We
it.
put them together, we literally just talked about it.
Yeah,
But
and that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I think we should go after it.
I agree. I agree. It's the.
let's
it's-
put a
now
job
it's one of the best
description
places.
together and we can
Yeah.
get to it at the next board meeting. Put that as an agenda item.
And any anticipation of what you think that range of salary should be, if you could provide us guidance on that.
Just like so many positions, it's cyclical. Tax time is what I've been calling it with my family. Tax time for me is November, February, April, and July, or July, August. And those are really the busiest time of years when I actually cannot apply for any more. And people are sending me things that we are eligible for, and I just don't have the capacity because I'm doing paperwork on the library grant or I'm doing something else. And it's a shame because my strengths are in the writing and the researching and getting the community partners together. The back end paperwork, Chris knows, is such a challenge on its own. I've grown to really respect the 5-inch binder, but I don't want to do it full time.
Yeah.
Especially if, I wouldn't say we're at COVID level funding where the money was just rushing out and only the people that had the capacity to apply. We're not quite at that level, but I would say in the next 12 months, things are really going to be moving and shaking. And I just don't have the capacity to grab it all, but I would love to.
I think we need to get to work on it.
Agreed.
Let's put the job description together, I think, and then
Okay.
we can do a little bit of background, checking on what that would look like. And I think it's important for people to understand these type jobs. It's not, I would say, somewhat comparable like high school principal. There's times in the year where it's just crazy busy, and then I give the flexibility. I know, okay, it's summertime, there's less activities. You guys, take advantage of that workload differential now. Yeah, so that, because it ebbs and flows.
Mhm.
This year 3.
I'm
year
just
4?
finishing my 4th year. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, this is awesome to look back, because I remember being questioned quite a bit about the position, and now we look back and say, here you
This is
go.
why.
Mhm.
This is why.
$4 million later.
It's absolutely later.
On average, $3 million a year.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You full support from us. I'll absolutely go to bat. The numbers are right there, and let's see what you could do with even more help.
I'm excited to see what comes out of the 6.6. Those were some pretty strong applications. Half of them we had to be invited to apply with a draft of an application that they were very confident with. So I think we're going to see a lot more dollars in the next probably 3 months from those.
And what most people don't realize, and I speak because I used to be in the nonprofit world, that was my world for 11 years. And what Katie does is so specialized. You can't just hire any old person to be a grant writer. You have to be very highly gifted in writing, and Katie has done an amazing job. So
It's the trust of the community though, too, to be able to call our partners and say, I need a letter of support. I needed 5 minutes ago.
yes,
And you sent me something.
you also have that skill set in that you've built relationships, and the relationships are huge. So
Everyone's been really supportive.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But in like the grants that I just submitted, if there was a one for $3.6 million, I'm going against other communities that have a team of grant writers. So it's
Sure.
7 grant writers and
Yep.
3 researchers and administrators. And it's just me for fighting for Elkhorn. So it'd be really helpful if I had someone to just answer the
Yeah.
phone. I don't want to leave anyone behind because we
Right.
still have those other needs. I still have to help the businesses and the nonprofits and everybody else. But right now, what's flowing through the Fed and the state is just so much. I just don't want to leave it behind. And I don't want to not answer phone calls from our community partners either.
So,
Yeah, we should keep moving on that.
yeah, we gotta get her some help.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Kate.
All right, that was awesome. Moving on to approval of the minutes. Y'all have had time to review. Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, look for a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes for the July 27th, 2026 regular session school board meeting as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the July 27th, 2026 regular school session school board meeting as presented. Roll call maybe for Kyle.
I
Or can we-
I told him that we'll vote in
We
the
just-
favor unless he changes their name.
I can chime in if you'd like.
We'll leave it at voice vote.
You want me to do a roll call?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
I don't know if we're gonna hear any swords in the background. All right, general and other fund bills.
The business office is submitting for approval the following US Bank check numbers: 155773, 155774, 155778, 155779. BMO check numbers 162803 to 162892. Wire numbers 0149 and ACH numbers 856883. And the combined amount of $893,804.69.
Mrs. Kostak, any questions?
Thank you. Huddle,
Yes.
is that what it was for? How many sports is it used for?
Football, soccer,
Basketball.
I don't know if lacrosse uses,
Basketball,
basketball.
which is I used it incessantly when Ross was in basketball.
Maybe volleyball, I don't know, volleyball uses.
Okay, I was just curious. And then the turf tank subscription?
Yeah, we split that $10,000 cost with Fund 80 to, it's a machine that gets programmed to paint the lines for the contract.
Okay, I know what that is, okay.
Auditors to check it, they vetted it last audit season, so.
Right.
They said that was okay.
Yeah, I remember that now that you say it, I recognize what it was, okay, cool.
Anything else?
And then, Jacob Rasmussen had a weird, electronic fax service, do we not?
Yeah,
Is there
we still have to pay for, even though we PDF stuff, in fact, that it's that cost of the PDF to on the copiers to send it via fax.
Okay.
Because we have the ability to do it straight from all of our machines.
Believe it or not, we still get faxes.
Yep,
What is a fax?
I didn't hear the city Weaver again, so then we got several faxes. Yeah, and we made sure to send them back responses via fax.
Where is that fax machine, Mr. Taylor? Is it back?
Right back here, yeah.
there you go.
I didn't know that. So
Fantastic.
maybe that's also part of it.
There's some, maintenance. I get it because we also, in my day job, we get things by fax that come into our email.
It's unbelievable
And
that technology is still used.
Yeah.
But it's just another way of electronically, because I guess technically, something attached as an email or attached in an email could be seen by others, where this may becoming too securely to you, from somebody to you as an inbox kind of thing, and I know that's what happens with some of our documents that we get like that.
That's
So,
simpler times.
just think before, I used to just sit on a tray until somebody took it off the machine and said, hey, guess what? Yeah.
Are you finished or
Yeah,
do you have more?
yeah,
Okay, I have just a couple. We had a check to DDSD, Delmadarian School District, for liquidated damages.
That's the same one that was last school board meeting with anytime that we break contract with another school district, they are going to charge us.
Oh.
So we probably hired somebody that was.
Okay, got it, yeah, okay,
And we do the same to them.
okay, sorry, I forgot.
So, like we hired someone who was under contract there, so some districts will use that as a financially prohibitive way for that employee to quit, and
Yep.
so we offered to cover that.
No, the thing that popped into my head was, oh, great, what did our students do over at your school district?
Liz definitely.
Okay. And then our payment to Neola, is that part of our regular payment plan that we have, or was that something extra that?
I believe that's part of the normal.
No, okay.
What was the
alright.
dollar amount?
It wasn't very much, it was like 2,700.
Maybe that's like annual subscription.
Okay,
Yeah. We're past.
I know we were just that initial investment, but I figured it was the annual, but I couldn't remember the numbers on.
Does anyone remember the original, was it 15?
15,
I
is
looked
what
at
I
where
remember.
we're at,
So the cost now is 22.
and we're
Williams,
yeah,
they got it.
we're gonna be done this year. Oh, wow.
With the writing?
Neola, yeah.
Yes.
We just do the, you'll just have to.
We'll just have the annual.
Right.
I think we've only paid.
You're right, that's. I expect the policy meetings that we have to run through that.
Yeah. All right, awesome, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, looking for a motion.
I'll move to approve the general and other fund bills of August 10th, 2026, US Bank check numbers 155773, 155774, 155778, and 155779. Vimo Harris check numbers 162803 to 162892, wire number 149, and ACH numbers 856 to 883, and combined amount of $893,804.69 as presented.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve.
No, it hasn't.
Sorry, I didn't hear you second. I was waiting for it, my bad. Thank you, Ed. Ed is seconded. Just excited to get through this. It's been moved and seconded to approve the general and other fund bills of August 10th, 2026, US Bank check numbers 155773, 155774, 155778, and 155779. BMO Harris check numbers 162803 to 162892, wire number 149, and ACH numbers 856 to 883. And the combined amount of $893,804.69 as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, report about Neola 7000 series. We've been rocking and rolling with Neola. Mr. Tadlock, do we have anything in particular we want to share on the 7000? And Julie, do we?
No, other than I just want to urge everybody to go through and read them now. You know, take some time, maybe take a few each week or something, or read through 5 a week or something, because we've taken 2 years, and it'll be almost 3 by the time we're done to review all of these. And I want to make sure that you guys have had a chance, because when we go to vote on this, we're voting on the entire package.
Yeah.
As you read through it, and if you look at the policy committee, what we've started doing, especially as we get into these final series, which are lengthier and have more like
Meat
in us. We've gone through, if you're wondering, well, why did they strike this section or that section?
Yeah.
By default, we've kind of worked with Tim, our consultant, to eliminate language that's not required by state law or statute.
Yes.
So if it's creating more unnecessary bureaucracy or things that could create greater liabilities for us because it's requiring us to do more through the policy, doesn't mean that we don't do it or that it's not good. It's just by default we start just taking some of that out. So but if there's something you see, sometimes we've seen like, no, we think that's really good, even though it's not required, we'll put that in. But the committee's been really kind of looking for that starting point and then going out.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, so I just don't want, when we go to vote on this as a package, maybe by the end of the year, that you are caught off guard and you're doing nothing. You have to take a week off of work.
What is nice after this is a living and breathing. So if you ever come up with like, oh my gosh, we just adopted that 2 weeks ago, this is a terrible policy, we need to change it. We bring it back and change.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you are reading through something and you're like, you know what, I don't really think I agree with this, bring it to the policy committee, we'll review it again, maybe we missed something, so,
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I did have a question, or excuse me, I was asked a question today about why are we deleting some, all these proposals to delete, so. Like Mr. Tadlock said, there are some instances where it's better to delete them, it's better to add, it's all under state statute, it's all followed by the.
well, some of these particular policies, the state added language in two different, is it acts?
Yeah.
Two different acts that the state implemented that forced us to put additional language in policies. There are policies that we were going to be reviewing and adopting anyway, so we kind of fast forwarded these particular ones to get adopted right away so that we were state compliant. And then in doing so, that just forced a deletion of old policies that are eventually gonna get deleted anyway. So that's kind of the explanation of.
Yeah, so we probably had 10 or more where we've had to go
Yeah.
ahead and adopt them because of state
Yep.
statute and not wait till they're done.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, all right, we can move on. No, I don't have a motion there.
No.
Great, all right, Mr. Tadlock.
Right, here's our personnel sheet. You'll see a handful of resignations, some transfers, and some new appointments. So we want to welcome, thank, first of all, those that had served with us and that are moving on. And then welcome those new staff members who are joining our team as well. We have 2 special education teachers. Woohoo, does that mean we're fully staffed now on the teaching staff?
I one right now.
You know, I was at the, you can see a lot of appointment in the support staff area as well. They've been busy. And I know the special education, Vince is our new director. They're kind of sweating getting into August with not having that fully staffed. And I think we're so blessed and fortunate here because there's many districts that roll into the start of the school year not being fully staffed. And so our professional staff for right now is all full and we're ready to start the year.
Wonderful.
Before new teacher orientation. That's
Wow.
that doesn't always happen. Yeah.
Great job, Taylor.
I think I will say that since Taylor is here, I think feedback on our new salary schedule and that transition has helped.
Good.
We've had several staff members where other districts were competing with us on those hires and the salary schedule that we have now, and the structure where the lower end of the schedule was bumped up has really helped to secure those new
Good.
teachers.
Great.
Great.
And keep them.
All right, looking for a motion.
I'll move to approve the personnel recommendation sheet for August 10th, 2026, including new employment contracts conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screen as presented.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the personnel recommendation sheet for August 10th, 2026, including new employment contracts conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screening as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, looks like we got some gifts today.
We do. We've got 2 gifts. To present this evening, the FFA alumni has donated a club car golf cart to the agriculture department valued at $13,554.60.
60 cents.
And then Ken Reynolds donated 100 shirts for fans at the 2026 Hero Bowl valued at $800.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
I think he's undervaluing those because
Yeah.
I haven't paid $8 a t-shirt from Kenny for a print.
That's probably his cost.
Yeah, well, if it was retail, I'm sure that would be fine.
Yeah, that's probably his cost.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. I will be missing that game. I have to go to Kansas to drop my daughter off.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's going to K-State. That's awesome.
Anyway,
Need a motion to accept.
looking for a motion.
I'll move to accept those generous school gifts as presented.
I'll second that.
And moved and seconded to accept the generous school gifts as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, second reading of new policies and proposal to delete. Do we have any questions on these? No? All right, looking for a long motion.
I move to approve new policies, board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct, student supervision and welfare administration, student supervision and welfare professional staff, student supervision and welfare support staff, volunteers, staff, and school officials, use of personal communication devices, student technology, acceptable use and safety, use of social media, and reporting of child abuse and neglect and sexual misconduct, and to delete policies 365.1, use of information technology, 365.1, rule, acceptable technology use agreement, 365.1, exhibit, information technology use agreement, 365.2, acceptable wireless use policy, 528, staff student relations, 522.5, social media, and 454, reporting child abuse, neglect, and threats of school violence as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Can you repeat that, Julia? So we moved and seconded to approve new policies, board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct, student supervision and welfare administration, student supervision and welfare professional staff, student supervision and welfare support staff, volunteers, staff, and school officials, use of personal communication devices, student technology, acceptable use and safety, use of social media, and reporting of child abuse and neglect and sexual misconduct, and to delete policies 365.1, use of information technology 365.1, rule acceptable technology use agreement 365.1, exhibit information technology use agreement 365.2, acceptable wireless use policy 528, staff student relations 522.5, social media 454, reporting child abuse, neglect, and threats of school violence as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Do we have any?
I do have one announcement that I added or didn't have it printed on the board notes, but Sarah Bosch spoke to me and said that she feels it's time for us to reconvene the Human Growth and Development Community Committee.
Yep.
There's no statute that says when you need to convene that, but it has been, well, it's probably been 8 years.
I was gonna say, I think that disbanded when as I was coming on the board.
Yeah. So what we would like to do from the process standpoint is put that out to all the parents in the community. It's dictated by state statute what type positions you need to have on that committee. And so there's going to be limited seats, but there's representatives from, staff group, from parent group, from a pastor, from a medical professional. So what I'd like to do is put out an open invite for people to apply for those positions. We might have to recruit a couple like medical professional. Dr. Bates was the one who served on the last one.
Yeah.
And so I believe we replaced, because you do have that committee there, but anyways, put an open invite out. We'll get that message put out and then have people kind of put in a written application. I don't think we need to do interviews with that, but I think it would be wise, since it is a board ad hoc committee, to bring it back to the board, and the board can go through the applications in a personnel, like in a closed session, I believe, and then make the selection of who you would like to have on that committee. And then they can reconvene, do their work, and then ultimately whatever the recommendation is comes back to the board, and the board decides what you want to comment. All right. So we want to give the heads up on that, but we'll be getting that out. I know some of you have been approached over the years by people who would be interested in that committee, so that notice will go out. They can put into certain on that. All right, that was all I had for announcements.
How does that notice go? Wow, how will we send that out?
We'll send that out via email, and we can post on our social media pages. Okay, a link as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one where it's like to get a good sampling of people on that committee, just because it's it's a touchy subject and like a bunch of different opinions to really.
I don't recall off the top of my head if it's only 1 out of 4 committee members can be a staff personnel, or 1 out of 3. It's a very limited number. So we really try to limit the school personnel on there, because very quickly, once you get past 12 people on a committee, it gets really cumbersome. So really, I believe it's 1 in 4. So really, at most, you only want 3 school personnel on there. Sarah being one, then it's usually I have the school nurse, and then you've got room for 1 more person from the school district. Yeah, if you're keeping it at 12. Otherwise, Yeah, well, more now you're at 16.
Oh,
It just gets.
Yeah, and then-
It's hard to wrangle.
It's just silly. I'm with it. All right, cool. Yeah. Half an hour.
Okay.
Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn to close.
I'll make a motion to adjourn to contemplate closed session pursuant to state statute 19.85. Parent 1, Parent C, provide an update on support staff personnel matter. School board will not reconvene in open session.
For a second.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded to adjourn to contemplate a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85, para 1, para C, to provide an update on the support staff personnel matter. School board will not reconvene in open session. Roll call.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Eric Gordon,
Yes.
Zig yourself,
Yes?
Mrs. Costa,
Yes.
Mr. Sparrow,
Yes.
Mrs. Vaughn.
Yes.
All right, Eric Gordon, I will send you a Google Meet invite for the closed session right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining online.